Welcome back to the channel, and today we are talking Transformers, and most specifically Transformers The Last Knight concept art, because now that the movie has been released, we are seeing more and more of this concept art, and some did and some did not make the movie. And in this video I'm going to take a look at this concept art, and I want to get your views and opinions on it because some of it is simply awesome. And also in this video as well, I'm going to throw up a few questions along the way, and once again I want you to be involved via the comments section below. Now first things first, I didn't create any of this concept art. This was all created by the designers involved in Transformers The Last Knight, and I've done my best in the description to try and list as many Instagram accounts or Facebook accounts where this concept art comes from. There's so much of it out there that it's hard to always get, the exact source right. But I've tried my best. So if you want to see more of this concept art, because I've only taken a portion of it, make sure you check my description and you can go and see more of this Transformers The Last Knight concept art. Also, if you want more Transformers content, make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel because I have a ton of Transformers content on the way, and I appreciate each and every one of you who supports my YouTube channel. Now, let's not delay this any further. Let's take a look at the first piece of Transformers The Last Knight concept art, and we have a familiar face, and that is Steelbane. And we know this is very familiar because this concept art actually made the movie, and you can see why. Steelbane looked fantastic for his bit part role in the movie, but it does throw up a question from me to you, because if you look at Steelbane's eyes, I have to question, in the Transformers movie franchise, the colour set of a Transformer's eyes. Now we all know that an Autobot has blue eyes, a Decepticon has red eyes. Then we get a bit of grey, because it's not very clear where the other Transformers come from. But should it? Should we have a bit more continuity, and could that be told, that story, from their eyes? What I mean by that is in Transformers Revenge of the Fallen we saw Devastator and he had green eyes. Then in Transformers Age of Extinction we have Lockdown and he also has green eyes, but they have no relation at all. And I kind of think, much like they've done with Autobots and Decepticons, maybe something like the Constructicons should have just had green eyes, then nobody else. The Infernicons, maybe they could have had purple eyes, then nobody else. I just think it sets up things much more smartly, and it also makes it very clear that yes, that's a bad guy, but that's not a Decepticon, that's a Constructicon. That's a bad guy, but it's not a Decepticon, it's an Infernicon. Whereas with Steelbane, it's like, well, he's got those green / yellow eyes because he is a knight. He's from a time before the Autobots. I just kind of think that would make a bit more sense than what we get at the moment, and for a casual fan to look at it and just say, well, I don't know, when I was watching this movie, if it's a good guy fighting a bad guy or what that one actually is, because quite frankly, they've all got green eyes or something like that. I actually think it's a point that the movie franchise should look into. So let me know via the comment section below, is there actually, bar Autobots and Decepticons, any continuity with a Transformer's eyes? I don't think there is just yet, but I want you to get involved. Now, Steelbane looked fantastic, so not too much else to say there, but let's move on. And now we see Quintessa, and her concept art, well, she looks a lot more sharp here. By the time the movie come round, she still had this form, but she looked a little bit more slick. That's the way I would see it. Not the best description, I know, but I think that Quintessa looked great in the movie, and you can see that this was the initial concept again, and it clearly rolled forward, and it did adapt a bit. She kind of looked a bit more, and it doesn't really sound great to say this, she looked a little bit more animated in the movie. She has a much better facial construction, I think, at this stage, whereas her face became her face became very different to this actual face, but that's more of a humanized face here for Quintessa. So we can see how that evolved to what she became when the movie was released. Now we move on and we see some more concept art of Optimus Prime, and this is a battled, broken down Optimus Prime. He's clearly been in the heat of the battle. Again, there's not too much to say here, but he looks absolutely awesome. And I do love when you see imagery, or even the figure line, when you see those battle damaged Autobots or battle damaged Decepticons, they always look great. But if we're going to move on now, because this one is interesting, very interesting, because we have Trader. I don't actually remember if he was called this in Transformers The Last Night. I've seen the film twice, but again, I didn't really take his role too seriously, but you can see he's a Junkian and he's got all that junk on his back. But if we go and look at the original concept art, now he definitely developed from this, as we see, yes, wow, this was the original face, I would guess, for Trader and his concept art. Yeah, he looks a bit too human for me, and we know that developed quite a lot, and this is a criticism that I've had of the Transformers movie franchise, is that sometimes a Transformer doesn't look enough Cybertronian. He looks too human-like, and this here for me is like, hold fire, we need to go back and make him look more Cybertronian. I mean, he looks like a politician, not a Transformer. He just looks weird, but you can see the resemblance of how that image there was taken, and very funnily enough transformed into what we saw in Transformers The Last Night. But I mean, yeah, I'm not keen on that original concept art. He looks like a politician. He does. Let's move on. And this was very interesting, because Barricade, I mean, he had an overhaul. His face looked completely different in Transformers The Last Night compared to Transformers 1. And I think that's an issue. Obviously, what I was saying about the Transformers and their eyes, again, it's something like this. Now, yes, they can take different forms, but Barricade didn't really take a different form. He was still the police car, and very much the same style of police car that we saw in Transformers 1. So you'd like to think that Michael Bay would have kept, and again, it's about consistency and continuity, that Barricade would have kept that same facial structure. But he definitely didn't. No way. He did not. He looked very different, and it's not to say that I didn't enjoy the new look of Barricade. It's just to me that it adds too much confusion for a fan when they look so different, and I think as well it takes away that you can build some sort of relationship with that Transformer if they keep on changing very drastically. Bumblebee has never gone through that dramatic change. Optimus Prime, his facial structure is still the same as it was from Transformers 1, albeit a few tweaks there, but nothing significant. Barricade, well, he got an overhaul, and as you can see from his alt mode, that didn't really change. So I don't know why they did that. Then we have a look at this, and I'm saying that about Bumblebee. Well, this would have been a very big change, a complete change to his alt mode. I have to say, that car looks phenomenal. Does it not? I mean, that looks mean like a mother trucker. It really does. So, I mean, I'm saying that I want that continuity, and that consistency. But then I see this and I'm like, oh man, I really would like to see Bumblebee as a different alt mode, because wow, it looks mean, looks menacing. But I actually thought this was a really smart concept design for Bumblebee. So what do you think of that? Would you like to see Bumblebee take a different alt mode? He obviously will in the new Bumblebee movie, but it won't be anything as slick as this. I mean, this is Michael Bay style, and it's not going to be Travis Knight style, that's for sure. Now, if we move on, we see, we see Infernicus, and that original version, if we look on the right hand side, I don't know which one came first, I can't say that, but I'm kind of guessing that the one on the right was the original version of Infernicus, and then we see, you know, how that developed, or what actually we did see in the movie, with Infernicus being almost combined with all of the Infernicons, and he's got loads of faces down his midsection, one questionable face where his you-know-what is, but you know, we see that development there, kind of quite like, again, the fire in his body. I mean, yes, maybe it doesn't look quite like a Transformer because it's lost that robotic edge with all the fire. Maybe it looks something more like from the Power Rangers, but I actually really like that original concept art. And then how we progressed, again, I had no issues with the way that Infernicus looked in Transformers The Last Night, but it's amazing to see that if that was the starting point and then it transitioned to being the combiner version where it's very much more robotic structured, a much more grey, dark structure, it's just amazing to see how they came on from that. But yeah, very interesting indeed for Infernicus. Which one do you prefer? Did you like the way that Infernicus looked? I actually thought in the movie he was very weak. I thought he should have been, or had a bigger moment. He almost was a little bit like Megatron's bitch and didn't do much else. So I've got to be honest there. Expected more considering he did look so damn mean. But what did you think? Now, the final two concepts, brace yourselves, because neither of these two concepts made Transformers The Last Night. And they are very, very different. There you go. Primal. Oh my. Primal. An ape-like Transformer. He's got the head structure of Optimus Prime. He's got that helmet-like look of Optimus Prime. You can see the way that he's built, but goodness me, maybe this could be some sort of, you know, like when we had Jetwing Prime, maybe we could have Ape Mode Prime. But goodness me, if this was an Autobot, the Decepticons better run and hide, because he is gonna rip them apart. And look at the size of him compared to the human. Damn. I mean, that I would have kind of liked to have seen this in Transformers, just to see him take on Infernicus. That'd have been epic, just one battle between the two of them. But damn, Primal. Would you like to see him Primal in the Transformers movie franchise? Would you like to see him in Transformers 6? Could you see in Transformers future films this beast mode being taken a lot further? Because obviously we have the Beast Wars. Could this be a path that Transformers will go down? Get involved. And finally, another concept that we have not seen in the Transformers movie franchise, and we didn't see it in Transformers The Last Night, but it was brought to the table, and this is the Transformers Snake. And many comments that I saw on this already were saying that this should have kind of been Quintessa's alt mode, because for Quintessa, she's supposed to be the master deceiver, and what is more deceitful than a slippery snake? So it does make sense. It does sum it up perfectly if you had a snake for Quintessa, because that's what she is. She deceives people and she is a very slippery individual considering how much she wants to do away with Unicron. So maybe in Transformers 6 Quintessa could have this, but again, this snake is huge. He is massive. So Quintessa is going to have to bulk up a bit for Transformers 6 if she is going to be the Transformers snake. But I found these two concepts, these final two, freaking awesome. I mean, they look fantastic, but how you're going to bring them into a Transformers movie, I'm not so sure. But you got to let me know via the comment section below, because I actually think that, you know, now I'm thinking about it, Infernicus versus Primal would have been awesome. But I want to get your views and opinions on it. So, I mean, this was just a fun video looking at some of the concepts that we've had in there. And I wanted to get your views and opinions on it because there's so many out there. And like I said, make sure you do check the description box for more of these concepts and the concept artists themselves. But wow, it's quite exciting to see the design process, and hopefully, you know, maybe we will see Primal in a future Transformers film. And what concepts would you like to see going forward for the Transformers movie franchise? Plenty to talk about for you Transformers fans out there. Let me know via the comment section below. Hope you enjoyed this video. All that's left to be said is please rate, comment and subscribe. What a concept. This is Delzinski signing out.